So what message would you leave to those about saying yes to jury duty?
I mean, it's important. If we want to see some change, we want to see some things going differently, we got to get out there and get into these avenues and get in these rooms to try to spark some change. And that's
Absolutely.
one. Jury duty is one of the things. Jury duty, voting, all of those things are things we got to do.
What you just heard was part of an interview with juror number 52, Brandon Mitchell, who was a juror on the Derek Chauvin trial. There he is in that interview telling you to use jury duty as a form of activism to get your social political agenda pushed into society so that it can become a reality. Hello and welcome to The Ordeal. If you're new to my channel, I challenge all things woke. So if you don't like wokeness, then please support my channel. Subscribe, click the like button, click the notification bell, share this video. That goes a long ways. And please watch to the very end. That's a big deal with the YouTube algorithm. We have this article here, Derek Chauvin conviction to be overturned after photo shows juror wearing t-shirt supporting George Floyd in 2020. The juror, identified as Brandon Mitchell, had told the judge that he had no knowledge of the George Floyd case before being summoned for jury duty. All right, let's listen to what he says about his knowledge of the George Floyd case.
You know about George Floyd and how he was killed?
I had seen like a little portion of the video, but I couldn't really watch the video like that just because it wasn't something that I wanted to see so much of black men being killed. It was like I can't watch it. So I clicked on it on accident one time and turned it right off, and that was all I knew really.
Wow.
But I didn't need to know much else though. I mean, I knew how the video would end, and that was it.
You're 31 years old, and
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. My mother does not own a computer, does not own a smartphone. The only computing device that she owns at all is a pocket calculator. She refuses to adopt modern day technology. And she has seen the George Floyd video of Derek Chauvin kneeling on him. Everybody knew this case going into it. There was no doubt in anyone's mind about what had happened. We heard on the news, we saw the video, we don't need to have a trial. You think this didn't taint the jury at all this information? You think that critical race theory, wokeness, SJW activism did not taint the jury? You think that the threats of violence and riots and destruction of the city did not taint the jury? Maybe none of that affected the jury at all. Maybe. Somehow I doubt it. Let's see what this article has to say here. On April 20th, 2021, a jury convicted former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin of murdering George Floyd. Chauvin was found guilty on all counts in Floyd's death, an incident that sparked worldwide protests against police brutality. Floyd died on May 25th, 2020, after he was arrested by police on suspicion of possessing a counterfeit $20 bill. Video footage showed Chauvin kneeling over the 46-year-old African-American man's neck for more than 9 minutes. However, the defense may now have grounds for appeal after new evidence has emerged showing that one of the jurors who promised the judge impartiality on the case was spotted wearing a t-shirt supporting Floyd last year. It's not going to be an appeal. That's not what you do. You declare a mistrial, but that it's up to the judge. Judge Cahill is spineless and will not declare a mistrial. So that's not going to happen. This headline here is inaccurate. It's not going to be overturned because it's Cahill's decision and he's not going to overturn it. Photo shows juror wearing t-shirt that read, "Get your knee off our necks." There you go. Juror number 52, who has now been identified as Brandon Mitchell, reportedly told Judge Cahill that he had no prior knowledge of the case prior to being summoned for jury duty, has tweeted on Fox 9 reporter. Oh, jeez, he had prior knowledge. Everybody had prior knowledge of this case. Was he living in a cave? People around the world had knowledge of this case. People around the world saw the video. Judge Cahill asked juror number 52 whether he heard anything about the George Floyd civil case. He says no. No. Okay. He explained hearing some basic info about trial dates, etc. from the news in recent months, but nothing that would keep him from serving as an impartial juror. In a Facebook post dated August 31st, 2020, Mitchell was pictured wearing a t-shirt with an image of Martin Luther King along with the words, "Get your knee off our necks," and BLM, which is short for Black Loves Matter. No, it's not short for Black Loves Matter. It's short for Burn, Loot, and Mayhem. The photo raises serious questions about his claim that he had no prior knowledge of the case. Here it is. Here's the photo. There he is. That's him. Here's his little T-shirt, and the Black Lives Matter hat is what he has on here. You can easily see the matter. You can kind of see the lives, and then the black is pretty well distorted, but that's what it says. According to the photo's caption, the image was captured in Washington, D.C. around the same time. So if this guy has no prior knowledge, then how come he can say stuff like this?
Yeah, so I said even in my initial interview to the lawyers that I felt like it was a historic moment and that we would have a chance to make history by being the jurors on that case. So I knew from the gate what it was and what it could be.
Yeah, he knew it was going to be historic. He knew this was going to be a historic event for black people. And he could get his political agenda, social political agenda, pushed forward that much farther. Every black person across the country knows about the George Floyd incident. That's just how it is. According to the photo's caption, the image was captured in Washington, D.C. around the same time. Thousands of protesters descended upon the National Mall in the nation's capital to Get Your Knee Off Our Necks march to express their support for Floyd and other black people who were killed by law enforcement and protests against police violence. Yeah. So he was protesting the George Floyd incident, and he was protesting police violence against blacks, even though the police are more violent with whites than they are with blacks. That's why this is woke, because the police are more violent with whites than they are with blacks. But all you hear about is how, police were killing the blacks. Oh, they got them. They were killing them. Mitchell said he saw jury duty as a means to spark some change. We heard that already. His words. Mitchell is the first juror in the Chauvin trial to speak openly about the deliberations in the wake of the former Minneapolis police officer's conviction. Speaking in a show called Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell on April 27th, Mitchell said that people should say yes to jury duty as a means to promote societal change. Yeah, jury duty is not where you're supposed to do your civic activism. You're supposed to uphold morality. You're supposed to uphold the law. In jury duty, it can work to promote social change. It can, but the purpose is to uphold justice, not to push for social change. I mean, it's important if we want to see some change. We want to see some things going different. We gotta into these avenues, get into these rooms to try to spark some change. He said, jury duty is one of those things. Jury duty, voting, all of those things we gotta do. You have every legal right that I have in the United States if you're a black person. There's no right that you don't have or no right that you do have. Other than now, hey, you can convict Whitey. You just point the finger that Whitey did it, and then Whitey gets in trouble because you're black. It's freaking disgusting. Social media reactions. Mitchell's photo from last year is now being circulated on Twitter with users commenting that the juror may have perjured himself in court, and this could be grounds for Chauvin's legal team to file an appeal against his conviction. It's legal to lie on jury questioning, asked one Twitter user. Well, another wrote, the juror just wrote a successful appeal for a murderer. Mistrial incoming, riots to follow. Yep, opined yet another. That's what I say. Just another piece of the appeal process that the officer will win and get a new trial, tweeted a fourth user. Yeah. Mr. Mitchell here claims that they deliberated for only 4 hours and there was only one dissenter in deliberations. Now, how is it that this guy thinks this is a historical case, but he doesn't know anything about it? It's a historical, but he doesn't know anything about it. How is it that they only had to deliberate for 4 hours and there was only one dissenter if they were not tainted already? Because there was a reasonable doubt, at least for some of the charges, probably all three of the charges against Derek Chauvin. Now, I'm not saying Derek Chauvin is innocent. I think that he is probably guilty of many, many wrongdoings in his life. I don't think that he is an innocent man by any means. I'm sure that he, as most other adults, have committed acts that should not be committed. And he should be punished for those. Whether or not he's punished for George Floyd is a different story. I don't think that he should have had the charges of the felony charges. I don't think he should have had the felony charges brought against him. These should be misdemeanor charges. Sure, he should be punished for this, but it should be a misdemeanor crime. He was doing his job. He was doing what was asked of him as a police officer, as a peace officer. The police in Minneapolis are not good at their jobs. Like I said many times, I've lived there, and I had more interactions with police than anywhere else I've lived, easily. And only like 2 of those interactions were good. It's over-policed, and they have a lot of crime in Minneapolis. They still have a lot of crime. They have at times been the murder capital, per capita murder capital of the United States. So what can you do? I mean, George Floyd, he is the, he's the martyr that this is going to push this critical race theory to the fore. We're going to see laws that are going to be implemented to attack white people. It's going to come to the point where you're not going to have, even if there are no laws, there's going to be no rights for white people in the country, that non-white people can do whatever they want to do, and the white people are just going to have to take it. That's what's going to happen moving forward in this country. Unless something changes, this is the path that we're on. That's why I have this channel, to speak out against this garbage. George Floyd, death, tragic, yes. Derek Chauvin's conviction, tragic as well. And you might be saying, well, Derek Chauvin still has his life. What kind of life does he have in prison for, 20 years he's going to be there? I think altogether is what it came out to be. No, I think it was more than that, 25 years. What kind of life is that going to be? Even if he gets out for good behavior, he's still wasted a lot of time, 10 to 15 years gone in prison. And you might be like, well, he killed somebody. Yes. The police kill criminals. He did not intentionally kill George Floyd. I don't think he intentionally killed George Floyd. Right? I don't think he went there going, oh, look, there's a black man, let me kill him. That's not what this is about. And we know that the police kill more whites than blacks. It's just a fact. And I'm sick and tired of the woke going, hey, look, the police are hunting the blacks. Don't you know? And it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And sometimes I have SJWs, feminazis, the woke, watch my videos. They're beside themselves. How dare I say these things? They don't even make any sense. I'm speaking gibberish to them. Like, that's not even a little bit true. I'm speaking the truth. Look at the stats. Just look at the stats. The stats are there. It's not like we're hiding anybody's race. It's not like the police are he was a black guy, I'm going to check Caucasian so they don't think I killed a black guy. No, that's not how this works. And with the body cam footage, they can't get away with that anyway. This ridiculousness has to stop. If you are white, you need to speak out against this. You need to stand up against this sort of thing, because it's coming for you. This juror, this Brandon Mitchell, who was the only black male, he was the only black male on the jury, therefore he's special. That doesn't matter. That's not supposed to matter at all. But he was the only black juror. This guy is duplicitous man, this duplicitous animal. Oh, it makes me so angry. How dare you, sir? How dare you go and impact a man's life so very negatively just because you have an opinion? You're allowed to have your opinion. Go have it. You think that these facts are not true? He probably believes in the 1619 Project. He thinks that cops are hunting down blacks. That's just, man. Anyway, thank you for watching. I do appreciate everybody supporting my channel. Please like, comment, share. I will see you next time.